Welcome. This video is about a report that has come out from the IISD.org. The Toronto Star published the news article saying that Canada is ill prepared for the decline in world demand for Canadian oil and natural gas, the decline of it. They're not prepared. We're not prepared. It's horrible. So let's look into this, where this money comes from. And, I'm going to give a little teaser here too. If you can control the report, you're controlling the scientists, and no one else can criticize it, because what you see on the screen here, there are reports from Europe and South America that demand for oil is increasing phenomenally. They need it. This report is the exact opposite. So I wanted to point that out, that what you see here is controlling the narrative. This IISD here, it's in the Toronto Star. I don't know if I can flip to that. It's considering Google might take it down anyway. So, these people here, there's 250 of them here. I mentioned this before, 250 of them up here. Say they make 100,000 each, so $25 million. There's a lot of them, whatever. A lot of them, 250 people. So that much. Now, if you go into, where does that money come from? Who pays $25 million a year for these people? I don't even know if they live in Switzerland. That's where the head office is, and it looks like a dump. The head office doesn't look like anything. Looks like a friend. So if you go into the financial statements here, well, this is the financial statements. So let's have a look. It's all grants, 100%, what that little shell company in Switzerland is. I have a summary at this, and I'll go through. This is where the money's coming from. So Government of Canada, 5.7 million. Provincial governments, Manitoba, Ontario, 5.8 million. So Canadian tax dollars are paying for part of it. And I'll have a summary. I'll put it on the side here. Other governments around the world, okay, Austria, Germany. I guess Germany put a lot here, 7 million. It's sort of ironic that they put that in, and they're the same ones that need the energy. Talk about politics. There might be even more politics going on there. Okay, Hungary. That's a bit surprising that they did it. I don't get it. Jamaica, like everyone's just dumping in some money to this fund. Anyway, the total of that in England here is in USA too. I don't get it. UK, okay, $17 million. Philippines too. Oh, thank you for that. $12,000. Okay, that's weird. So that's where the other part, the 17 million, comes from. Now, United Nations, no surprise, about $5 million. United Nations, World Health Organization. Like, this just is like rounding money. When they have big announcements that, we have a $300 million fund for climate or whatever, this is where the money ends up. It just goes all over. It just filters around to all these organizations, and they just come back up, and you find out you're paying for it. Okay, international organizations now. Open Society, there's George Soros right there. World Bank, okay, more. Okay, total of that, 2.6 million. The next part here is the foundations here, and there's a lot. This is the Royal Bank of Canada, I think, Rockefellers. Okay, what's the total of that? 20 million. Wow, that's a lot of money. 20 million bucks. Some of these Sakota Climate Fund here, the really sad part about it, it just looks like another, and they get grants up here too. And the other one too is Climate West. This goes back to Canada. Canadians pay for this. See, Alberta, Manitoba. Alberta and the prairie provinces are paying for their own demise, really. That's what the Sakota and the Climate Fund or something. Maybe I went down too far. Okay, next part in here is the other Climate West. That's the one I'm talking about there. So another 1.7 million. Comes out to $58 million. Wow. So that's where the money's coming from. Just grant money. You control the scientists or control the reports from the news article, and everything else follows. Let me go back to here. This one. You control this new report. The report is based on Canadian tax dollars from Germany, UK, Philippines, I don't know, Jamaica, like Open Society, and this Climate West, which is just government fund anyways. At least they put down here federal and provincial governments, because this is a .org. It's Canada. So all this is just controlled media. It almost looks like an activist is pushing a narrative down. They put it in the Toronto Star, and then they inform everyone too that oil energy is dropping. Put that in your mind. Oil energy is dropping. And it is, let me look at that too. Well, there you go. Oil demand could peak this decade. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of demand for it. And surprise, Saudi Arabia is there. Well, look, world appetite is still growing, And these forecasts out to 15, 20 years, that's ridiculous, It's growing and it's increasing. So that's exactly opposite of what the news article says. Anyway, that's where the money is coming from, just from the Canadian taxpayers, European taxpayers, funds, open society. That's where it's all coming from, the report. And Toronto Star puts it in the paper, and you read it. And, well, obviously the oil's declining, so we have to get out of it. It's all activism to me. Let me know what you think. Thanks.